Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, January 12th, 7:45 a.m. Just did my first official run with my new runners group. 6 o'clock start time. Interesting. Still dark outside. It's a little motivation that I needed. I've been moving in to my new apartment and trying to get everything set and correct. And I've kind of used that as an excuse to not set my goals for the year and to not keep up with the pace of activities that I've been doing. Still run, still biked a little bit, still worked out some, although I can't go back to the gym for another 4 days due to contact tracing, although I have tested negative 2 times, so I don't have the coronavirus. It's just a bit of a pain in my ass. This is the second time that this has happened. I've spent a lot of time building my gym, so that way I can work out at home. Same in my other apartment before this, which is even a smaller apartment. I spent a long time building up my gym. The reason why I did that was because for a long time gyms were closed, so I had to do something, otherwise I would go crazy, because I don't do anything besides run and lift and swim and bike at this point. I don't drink, and currently I'm going through sober January. No smoking weed for me, which is interesting. It's funny. I can smoke and work out, but when I don't smoke, I do always realize how much more energy I have. But I can always fool myself into saying that smoking doesn't hinder me, when in reality it it definitely does. I just haven't sat down and written out my goals for the year yet. I've almost taken it as if these first 12 days of the year haven't really happened. So I have one more piece of equipment for my gym, which is a treadmill, which I'll be picking up on Saturday. It's a used treadmill, but got great reviews. It's been discontinued, and I just found a seller for it on Facebook Marketplace. Yesterday I picked up a, show it to you here, dip and pull-up station, which not sure how much I'm going to be able to use it for pull-ups, but I'll be able to use it for leg lifts and for dips and for elevated push-ups, I guess. My apartment's a little bit too short to use the pull-up bar, but I'll do the best that I can, give it in whatever space I have, and we'll see what happens with that. I'm super excited about it. It's like the last piece of equipment that I needed to get in here in terms of weightlifting, to make it functional in terms of a gym. There's a few various things. I need a new bench squat rack deal. The one that I have right now just doesn't cut it, but I'm not going to spend the money on that right now. I have savings goals that I have to hit and targets that I have to hit before I do anything else. So what's happened in 2020 so far since I last talked to myself through this? I'm very good at talking to myself. If any of you have ever met me or anybody that ever knows me, I like to talk. So this is actually a really good space for me because I can talk without anybody interrupting me. And for somebody that likes to talk a lot, I don't really like to listen. So this is it's a good format for me. So since I last talked to myself on here, we've had an attempted coup. I call it an attempted coup because I think that that's an overstatement. It's the 21st century. What we like to do is we like to blow things up just a little bit. Not for nothing, but these guys weren't trying to take over the country. There is a small percentage of people, and there's always going to be a small percentage of people that attempt something like this, that go about something like this, unless it's a country like Egypt or South Africa back in the day, or Libya, or Tunisia, or Iraq, or Iran, or something like that. In the United States, when we have an uprising like this, I mean, even I would hazard a guess, and I don't want to sound any sort of way about this, but I would imagine that the civil rights movement, even, if you look at the marches, that's a small percentage of what the population was at the time. I don't mean that's a small percentage of the population that felt that way, although I would imagine, percentage-wise, a lot of people were against civil rights. But I don't want to compare the two of them, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm not trying to say that this is the same thing as civil rights. But what I am trying to say is that it's such a small percentage of our population that I think feels as if the election was rigged and it was taken away from us and it's undemocratic, and they felt like they needed to go down to the Capitol building and raise all sorts of hell. But here's the question. Did they raise all sorts of hell? So while security was ushering senators and congressmen out of harm's way from a bunch of non-gun carrying, supposed bleeding heart conservatives who care only about gun rights, this is what news outlets are calling them. While they're ushering them away from this fear and danger, these people were going in, and I'm not really sure. I've watched it. I've seen them break down the windows. I've seen them go in. Seen the guy walking around with the horns on his head. I've seen the guy walking out with Pelosi's podium. But it's just a little bit crazy to me. Like, this is a coup? This is what you call a coup? Man, are we fucking privileged here in America that we think that this is a coup? I mean, I'm tired of seeing that word. That's just ridiculous. I mean, this is just the media trying to instill more hate and violence and aggression and anger and all the rest of it. I've just been so turned off in the last few years, watching as we turn from a country that is based off of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness to a country that is derived by anger. You read every news media outlet. Just the reactions to it. The reactions to the two major riots, as people seem to want to be calling them, of the last year. So that being the coup and the Black Lives Matter riots, right? I mean, there were riots. I'm not saying that they were Black Lives Matter related. They just happened to be at the same time. Once again, small subset of people doing really stupid things. Somehow, Black Lives Matter gets tied into it, and then it gets bad rap. I don't think that the two are related. Same way, I don't think Republicans are to blame for what happened. I think it's a small subset of morons that are to blame. So anyways, the reaction from both sides to these two riots is only going to lead to more division. I don't understand how we have gotten to this stage here in America where we think if we meet anger with more anger, it's going to solve the problem. Let me just repeat that again, because it just doesn't make sense. And this is from an angry human being. You meet anybody that knows me will or doesn't even know me and just sees me will tell you I am an angry individual. I am not happy. I'm not a happy-go-lucky person. I like to get into arguments. I'm argumentative. I'm contrarian. I like to debate. I'm not very interpersonal skills with people right now. They've gone out the window for the vast majority of the last couple of years. But let me just repeat my last statement. Why do we think that reacting to anger with more anger is the solution? Are we trying to start a second civil war? Are we trying to divide us more? Because from every other keyword, they talk about bipartisan. They talk about towing the line down the middle. And people talk about trying to bring the country back together. And yet when something happens, instead of us reacting and saying, one, not giving it all the news coverage in the world and empowering them to make them feel as if they've done something wonderful. First off, we called it a coup, which gives them some sort of whatever else. But instead of doing the right thing, which would be to, take this as a moment of unrest as it is, and trying to come together and try to unify people. What we have done is we've decided to alienate everybody further. So, just a little confused as to where we go from here. Because I think I don't really know what I think. Like, I wanted to make a broad generalization there about, different generations and how they deal with it. But I think what I've found is my broad generalizations is that the the generations above me have become, they've ended up, because of where they've leaned to their entire life, that is just even more solidified in their thinking now. And I think my generation and the generations below me, we thrive on likes and standing out and creating controversy or creating discussion or whatever it is. So I think either way you look at it, the generations are really polarized. And, we may complain about the media and it may have its biases, which it most definitely does. I don't care which side you're on. The media is biased. There's 4 or 5 liberal media outlets, and then there's Fox, and then there's nothing really in between. And Fox is a little, and then the liberal media outlets can be a little, and then you just need somebody to just be like, this is what's going on in the world, and we don't have that. So everything's just getting skewed at this point. So Andrew Schultz made a great point. Best reaction to a coup, just let them in. They don't know what to do after that. That's it. They planned on breaking in. They broke in. They don't know how to deal with it afterwards. That was the whole plan. That was it. It's a pretty remarkable thing to see what happened, but I don't know. Just don't give them credence. That's the best thing I can say about the whole thing. I don't know. I don't know where else to go about that. But back to the hopefully motivational segment of this. I think my friend Rich, check him out. He's got a YouTube page, ESL Teacher Richard, I believe is what it's called. I'll put a link down below, maybe, if I know how to do that. We were talking about it the day of, and he said, I've really taken this quarantine time to work on myself, because, if you get too carried away with what's going on in the world, then it becomes difficult, and then you just go down this rabbit hole of anger and despair and depression. And if you take this time where we are forced to be a little bit separate from people and forced to be a little bit more introspective and more self-sufficient, if you take this time to really focus on yourself, then you're going to come out of it on the other side a better person. But also, you can work on a lot of things right now. Yes, I get that this is a little bit of my privilege of being able to work through the pandemic and, continue to make money and all the rest of it. But all I've spent my time doing is trying to better myself. I set my goal of trying to train and then run an Ironman, which will happen in the future. And obviously I've set up my home gym now. I've moved. I've upped my savings goals. I figured out different ways of budgeting. I've learned about myself. I haven't improved my interpersonal skills, as I talked about before. I was going to say personality, but I think about personality is just fine. It's just about dealing with people. It's a funny way of putting it. Don't get along with people. Got a great personality. Yeah, I guess that is kind of difficult right now. I mean, I see the same 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 people, if you include the clientele, and I'm just a little bit, tired of it, and therefore don't react properly. And I do that on an all too frequent basis. And I am aware of that. Just don't have the facilities right now to improve that. But what I do have the facility, well, I mean, I do. Obviously I do, because people improve themselves all the time. I can just use that as an excuse and say, well, I'm working on this, if I'm working on that, and these people aren't. There's all sorts of excuses. But I don't know whether it's I just don't have an outlet for it. I don't have somebody. I have plenty of people to talk to, and I talk to people about it. I don't know what it is, what the situation is inside of me that doesn't allow me to do that right now. And once again, I'm just gonna continue to make up fucking excuses of why I can't be a better person to everybody around me. But what I have done is I've taken all of this time to work on me and take myself away from left, right, red, blue, Jets, Giants, whatever it is that causes debates and causes rifts. I've just focused on, get up, run, swim, eat properly, bike, eat properly, prep your meals. I've got my butcher box coming in. I've got a slow cooker, so I've learned, some new slow cooker recipes and, gotten some nice, briskets. Or last night for the first time, I threw some chicken thighs in there with a nice sort of like Asian barbecue sauce. I don't know how they are. Haven't tried them yet today, but I got them for lunch. Plus, I got them at meal prep for the rest of my time. Yeah, I work at a restaurant, but, I've decided not to eat there as much. I've decided to cook my own food and eat my own way. I've never had this much energy. I've never felt this good about life and, about my day-to-day. I've never had the motivation to get up and go out and lift and to swim and to run and to do all the rest of it. Like right now, I finished up my first speed workout with my new runners group. It was tough. I know 2 names of the people. They all introduced themselves. I was too busy huffing and puffing my way around the track and then running stairs and whatever else it was that we just did to remember names. But it was motivating to run with other people. It was motivating to try and keep up with them and to keep up with the workouts that they were doing. But also, it'd be so easy. I'm talking to Rich at 11. It'd be so easy to sleep until 10. But instead, I set up the dip station. Just as you saw at the beginning of this video, finished up a cup of coffee. I'm going to get on the bike. It's all set up. I'm ready to go. I've been following along with my goal of listening to audiobooks when I'm on the bike, which I wasn't about to do. And I've literally just this second, while talking to you or talking to myself, as is, decided, of course I'm going to fucking do that, because that's the goal that I just set for myself. And that audiobook is only going to improve me. It's only going to make me better. And these are goals that I set for myself, prior to this year. Like I said, I need to sit down and have a real good talk with myself, and set my goals for this year. As I mentioned in the last video, I'm reading or listening to this book the 10 times, I don't even know, the 10x goal or something like that. So, my goals, I will sit down, I will write, I'll multiply them by 10, and I'll figure out where I'm at. And then I have to put a plan in place to achieve that goal. It's so funny because he says in it, and, I'm only about 2 chapters in, but he says in it, everything takes more time than you think it's going to do. Everything takes this. So plan for things to take longer. So yesterday, I went down to go pick up this dip station or power tower, whatever you want to call it. And I wanted to pick it up at 6 o'clock. I got there at 6 o'clock. I thought, great, I'll be home by 7 o'clock. I'll get on the bike. Then I'll watch a little bit of the national championship game. I'll go to sleep at 10 o'clock. It didn't fit in my car. I had to text the guy. I had to be like, yo, man, I borrowed an Allen key. I gotta take it apart. So I'm in the middle of Brooklyn. It's funny because there's actually people out there sort of, wow, New York's dead. I mean, I know I'm in Brooklyn. I did drive through a little bit of the city. There was traffic. there was people out. It's not this like ghost town 100% that everybody says it was. Although I never really spent a lot of time in the city, so I'm not really the person to ask. But I had to unscrew it a little bit, so I got 2 Allen keys from him. I was able to take off one piece. So I took that off. I realized I needed a different Allen key, so I asked the guy again. Now I started feeling a little bit guilty. This is where the Jewish guilt sets in. So I'm like, yo, I need a wrench. I'm not about to message this guy again, go up to his 8th floor apartment, ask him for the wrench, go back down, all the rest of it. So I look across. I'm not far away from the Barclays Center. So I see, at least I think I see a sign for a Target. So I'm like, bet, I'm in. Jog over there, pants on down, wearing sweatpants. I've got bolts in my pockets. I've got my keys in my pockets. I got my wallet in my pocket. I just leave it. My trunk is half open on this dip station thing, right? There's a couple of pieces that are outside the car. There's a couple of pieces that are inside the car. I'm jogging. My pants are falling down. I'm trying to hold them up. I'm trying to have my phone not fall out of the back of my, or out of that little kangaroo pouch that you got in a nice hoodie, right? Because I've already broken the back of it. Luckily, I didn't break the front of the screen. So I get over to this Target, take the elevator upstairs, get upstairs, and I'm met with a sea of just a variety of anti-mask type of deal, all the rest of it. 3 people I saw, no mask at all. 20 some odd people with the the good old-fashioned chin diaper. I don't understand it. I don't understand it at all. But instead of doing what I normally do, which is staring these people down and just kind of like cockeyed looking at them, going like, do you understand that you are the most uneducated percentage of people in the world? I'm so glad that you guys are doing this because you guys make it so much... anyways, I'm not even going to get into a whole rant about that. I just don't understand it. It's not like the worst thing in the world. Yeah, I know it's annoying to wear a mask. I was contact traced. I had to literally wear a mask for 2 days straight. It hurt my ears. Nobody could hear me. They were like, can you take your mask off? I was like, no, I can't take my mask off. I don't want to infect anybody, all the rest of it. It's a fucking pain in the ass. But you know why I do it? I do it for everybody. I don't do it for myself. I find it really annoying myself. I don't do it for myself. And I find the people that don't wear it right and all the rest of it to be just like, you can just tell your IQ, 1. It's really not that difficult to tell. Like, you know, you wear shoes, you wear a shirt, just wear a mask right now. We're doing it for the greater good of everybody. You wear a shirt, you don't complain about wearing a shirt, you do all of these things. Oh, but they trying to take away my freedoms. Motherfucker, we all have the same fucking freedoms anyways, whether you're wearing a mask or not. What's the difference? Tell me, what is the difference in your life? If you're on a treadmill, yeah, I understand. You ended up getting waterboard while you're on the treadmill. You're just like breathing in all this sweat that you sweated. But besides that, there's not a lot of people that run. Right? I'm in the top 99 percentile of freaking Garmin. I don't run like that. Like, well, I mean, I guess I do, but like, I'm not like a professional runner, so to be in the top 99 percentile means that not a lot of people run. Which means there's no reason for you guys to be complaining about it. No reason at all. Anyways, I really digress then. So, run in, get myself a wrench, says it's $2.99, it's really $10.99, whatever, pay up, get on the move again, hop back to the car, take this thing apart, right, and finally bring up the Allen key to him, finished up. So now I got a new wrench, don't need one, already have 3. But I got the dip station in my car. What time I said I want to be back home? 7 o'clock? Excellent. What time was it? 8 o'clock. Alright, got home, 9 o'clock, ate my meal which I usually kept for lunches, and took a couple of melatonin before I did that. This way I could go to sleep, watched, I guess, the rest of the first half of the game, fell asleep, and I don't know if, for any of you guys that smoke, take a sober month. Don't do it because it's affecting your life or whatever else. Like it might not be like the worst thing smoking. Like there's plenty of people that, even me. Smoked all last year, ran 1,400 miles, right? You can be productive. It's not about that. My dreams about a week or 2 weeks after quitting smoking about the most vivid things that you'll ever have in your entire life. It's incredible. So I had this crazy bad dream about I was in a frat when I was in college. I randomly stumbled into these two people. One of the guys was Golden Gloves boxer. I was never gonna argue with him, right? And in the dream, there was drugs and coke and a blowjob on a subway. Not from me, some two chicks, and they were harassed into it by these two guys. One was my big, and one was my drug dealer when I was in college. It's just weird, and I woke up with the same impending sense of like, not fear, but like sort of peer pressure. Not peer pressure. I don't think that's the right word. I don't know. It was just, I woke up 4 o'clock in the morning with my alarm set for 5, so that way I would be able to get ready for this run and get to the run on time. And I was just like, yeah, this is weird. But the night before, I had some great dreams about a beautiful girl. Gone on a date with her. All the rest of it. It was a very weird thing. But the dreams are vivid, and you wake up from them because THC inhibits REM sleep. So it can help you go to sleep faster. But what you don't realize is that, you're not getting the same sleep. I'm getting deep sleep, according to my watch. #Garmin. But what you don't get is you don't get the dreams. So I guess you don't get the memory processing or whatever it is. So for the last 4 nights, so it took, I haven't smoked in 2021. That's this year, 2021, not 2020. I smoked a lot in 2020. So in 2021, I haven't smoked at all, and it took me 8 days this time to get to the dreams. Again, usually takes about 4 days. I guess I smoked a little bit too much at the end of last year. No, I guess. I definitely did. It was like a blunt before every fucking workout that I did. It was like, what are you going to do? I'm going to go run 10 miles. What are you going to do before? Roll a blunt. Smoke a blunt. That's the way I did it, baby. But why? Got me into my podcast. I don't know. Lies you tell yourself to make yourself feel better, right? So anyways, so now I'm 8 days in. Started for the last 4 nights. These absolute vivid dreams. Some good, some bad. Obviously, as I've just said, it's definitely an interesting sort of thing. You don't think about it until it happens. I woke up in last July. I did a sober July and ran my biggest running month, 222.2 miles. And I woke up one morning and I was already pissed off at my boss. I had a dream, right? And no, not Martin Luther King Jr., but I did have a dream. We somehow not only had the restaurant, but there was also a bar. He got drunk, knocked over some pictures on a bunch of college kids. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I had to be in the next morning at 9. He was going to close down the bar, which for whatever reason closed at 6 o'clock in the morning. But I had to send him home because he was wasted and he was trying to fight these college kids. And then I had to close down the bar and then go into work the next day. So I woke up, right? I don't know if this ever happened to anybody before. I woke up in a bad mood at somebody based off of a dream that I was in. I'm sure it's happened to people before, right? And I was just like, that's too real. But also at the same time, it's kind of cool. And it's really funny to see the way that different things affect you. So, like I said, I'm 12 days into this sober month. Might carry it over into next month. I don't know. See how we feel. Weed's the only thing I really have a draw to. I currently have, I had a couple of orders that I for work where I needed to hit minimum. So I bought a couple, a case or two of something for a local place. They'll give me cash for it or whatever, but I have these 2 cases of alcohol sitting in my apartment right now. Good alcohol too, not bad alcohol. I was going to bring it to them yesterday, but realized they were closed, so I brought it home. At no point was I like, yeah, I want to drink one of those. I thought for like 2 seconds. I was like, how funny would it be if I just opened all of this and just had a drink tonight? And I was just like, so not interested. So weed's the only draw that I have. I'm not feeling the need or desire for it right now, but I guarantee you if my guy hit me up, it'd be really difficult to say no. So if you're out there don't text me. He usually texts me if I haven't texted him in a couple of weeks. That's a long time for me to not text him. So don't text me. Anyways, that's where I'm going to end this one. I'll let you guys in. I'm going to try and do this a little bit more often. This is a nice long one, 30 minutes. Proud of myself. I know how to talk. One good thing about me, I can always talk. Not really sure what sort of chain of thought we went on this time, but it was just a little bit of everything. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Please, 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 for anybody that has watched this and does get any little thing out of this, please share it with somebody. I'm not trying to make, like I said in the last one, I'm not trying to make a living out of this. I'm not trying to do anything else. I just, I want to share my thoughts with people, and I hope this gets out to everybody. All right, next video, I will share with you my goals for 2021. I hope this finds you guys happy and healthy. Please turn off the news, go the fuck outside, enjoy the world for the beauty of the world, and don't let the anger get you down, because you're better than it. We're all better than it. And this year could be a year of actual healing and unity. All right? Love you all.